welcome, what's up, and welcome back to the channel for yet another FC Finch review, and it is Eaglemoss Day, and yeah, we're gonna get back to a review that didn't get so much love because I'm not sure how many people know who these guys are. I'm not sure if people care because they had such a small part in the grand scheme of Star Trek, but we're gonna take a look at the Sona Flagship. Of course, you remember the Sona from Star Trek Insurrection, yet another movie that, you know, it's 50-50. I mean, overall, I think it was a good Star Trek episode type plot. I think most people would agree with that, but there are some people that are very much against the film, which is a-okay because we all have opinions, and that is a good thing that we can all differ and yet still be friends in the end. But the Sona were the enemy of that, right? They are kind of associated with the Dominion as arms dealers, drug dealers, whatever you want to call them. And we're going to be taking a look at the Sona Flagship, which appeared in that movie, Adar Roaffel's starship, which is rather quite small. But of course, since the ship is a special edition, we're going to be taking a look at the box really quick. And of course, just like all Eaglemoss boxes, have a nice shot of the flagship on front, Sona Flagship. And then of course we have all the legal stuff, Hero Collector, we got Star Trek on the side, Sona Flagship, we got Star Trek on the other side, Sona Flagship, we got StarTrek.com, but it's upside down on the bottom. And then of course we have right over here, we have the big four, because this was earlier in the collection. And yeah, so there we go, and that is it for the box. And next up, of course, we're going to take a good look at the magazine. So we'll move the flagship off to the side, take a good look at the magazine. Of course, we have a nice image of the flagship on here, nice 3D rendered. It is the Sona Flagship special issue. All the Sona ships were special issues. They got the Solar Collector, the Battleship, which we already looked at, and the Sona Command Ship. And of course, operational in 2375, the length of 354 meters, roughly half the length of the Enterprise E, and isolytic subspace bursts as the weapons, which are illegal. Then of course we have profile. I mean, there's not much on it, you know. It was seen for like maybe half the movie. A stand assembly, of course, as usual. And of course, there's a nice frontal shot of the ship. And again, I love the Sona ships. They look great. I mean, this thing, I can see the inspiration taken from simple shapes. I love the way this looks coming at you. It looks really good, nice and alien. It is a Sona Command vessel, live around in 2375. Commander Adar Roaffel, and weaponry of phasers and isolytic subspace bursts. And then of course we have the shot of the nacelles, the nacelle warp area, and of course the back of the ship. And there we go for the table of contents and whatnot. And then of course we have a nice shot of the Sona Flagship just right outside the briar patch. So that looks absolutely beautiful, really good looking. And then of course we have yet another shot of the ship inside the briar patch. Try and use the briar patch the same way Brer Fox did, or was it Brer Rabbit? I forget what Riker said. He was quoting, I believe, The Wind in the Willows or something like that. And then of course we have some nice sketches. I always love this part, sketches of what the ship should look like, what it could have been. And you know what I kind of see here? I kind of see a little bit of the Shrike that we see in Picard season 3, another very cool ship that unfortunately, hopefully we'll get a model of someday, because I really did like the Shrike. I like a lot of the super ships. And of course you have obviously parts of the ship that would carry on to the battle cruiser. And then of course we have getting to its final shape. I love these sketches. They are just so cool. Just like it's like watching a child grow. And then of course you see it more and more with a lot more detail, a lot of spines in this guy, spines and buttresses and all that good stuff. And then of course we see all these ships in scale with one another, how they're supposed to look. And yeah, this is the smaller ship compared to its battle cruiser brethren. And then of course we have the Solar Collector off to the side. Did we miss something? Yes, we did. We got some orthographic views right here, which are really cool. And then of course we have again orthographic views on the side. And then of course some more sketches, and again back here. And there it is for the magazine. There we have a nice upper orthographic view of the Sona Command ship. Really good look. And of course my stand does work, so it is the usual method of stand position. You just take the peg, plug it into the bottom of the stand, and it's kind of wobbly, but the ship is pretty stable in it. And we're going to take our ship and we're just going to plug it in right along here. And there we go, and it'll just plug in right through the back there. And there we have the Sona Command ship in its stand. And how about that? It's kind of shooting up into outer space. And let's get a good look at the Flagship. Here we go. We're gonna move this back off to the side. Now, the one gripe I had with this model, again, I know it's only going off of what the CITV is it's pretty void of detail and color. And yeah, that was the way it was in the show. There's somebody that actually took this model and actually colored in a lot of it, gave it some nice green and gold hues, and I think that would have been spectacular. But nevertheless, really, let's get into it. So again, we got some transparent plastic for the nacelles. I like how the nacelles kind of come around, like kind of has that crab type look. And then of course I have some nice transparent yellow. And again, I really like this. I love how this is one thing I do love, is that I love how these are just really, you never see yellow for the warp coil, so that looks really good. Lots of spiny detail. One thing I will say is that even though there is no color, there is lots of spiny detail all over it, lots of areas to run your fingers over, lots of molded detail in all over. And then of course we have some detail in back here. I love the vented detail as we go towards the back. A lot of these spines just kind of coming out. It's kind of a Klingon bat'leth level ships. We do have a lot of window detail coming on. Man, this is a lot of windows. You get a real idea for just how big 354 meters is, because there's a lot of windows all over this place. So a lot of cruise quarters all along the ship. You can see all the way going towards the back. Really nice. Nothing embossed inside. It's just kind of put on. There's no window misalignments. Of course, we have the bridge area. And moving back real quick before we have some more window detailing. And then of course we have what I believe is the warp core and whatnot. And then of course we have the bottom of the ship, which it looks really good. In fact, I love how it has like these sections that just kind of come around. They kind of go under the ship. That looks real good. And more spine detail, and you got some prongs in the back here, and then just a lot of embossed detail along the bottom. It looks really good. I mean, again, I'm just kind of bummed that it's void of color. You get some Aztecing in there, a little bit of darker, a little slightly darker shade of gray, but for the most part it's really void of color. And again, I really wish it had more of that, but hey, you know what, that's not really a fault of Eaglemoss or anything like that. That's kind of the way the ship was 3D modeled. So, but yeah, overall, one thing I do want to comment on is the ship. I'm not sure if there's any metal in this. I mean, it feels relatively light. Not a bad thing. I mean, it feels, it's substantial. It's a good amount of, it's a good chunk of plastic, but I'm not sure if there's any die cast at all to see. It feels on the lighter side compared to its battleship brethren, which if you've seen the video, that was the first thing I was kind of taken by. So anyway, and there we have it for the Sona Command ship. And for a couple quick comparisons, let's bring it in with the Sona Battleship. And again, definitely not to scale. The Sona Battleship is about twice the length of this ship. But I will say this, due to the amount of metal in the Sona Battleship, it does feel just as weighty as the Sona Flagship. And of course, you notice the difference is that I believe this, the painted nacelle coloring versus the transparent plastic on the Sona Flagship. But again, and there we go. And again, we got a nice look from the front. They look really good together. I love how these ships complement one another. And then we'll get them from the side really quick. Sorry, the Battleship is so small and skinny. So, and there we go. And yeah, again, really good looking fleet right here. And then of course we will get it in with the Nemesis, the not Star Trek Nemesis, the Enterprise right there. And again, I mean, lengthwise, you know, the Enterprise is about double the length as well. So there we go for that. And we'll get a quick look from the front as well, just so we can kind of see what these ships both look like. The Enterprise, of course, did some damage to this ship. He wouldn't. Oh, yes, he would. And then we'll get a quick look from the side so you can just see how that is going on. And again, so, and there we go for our comparisons. Really so let's summarize, and there we have it for the Eaglemoss Hero Collector official Starships Collection Special Edition Sona Flagship. And yeah, overall, I will say, upon getting this model, when I first got it anyway, I will say the aura was kind of disappointing, and that is mainly due to the lack and being void of color. I mean, I love the Aztecing. I do love the yellow peeked out into the cells and whatnot. But overall, save for the entire profile of ship, it's just kind of a plain, boring, dull color, and that is unfortunate. Also, it's again, does feel plasticky, kind of lacking a bit of that premium feel with the heavy weight, especially if you get the Sona Battleship before this, which I got second, which is why I was so surprised with the Battleship when I saw it, because I was expecting more of the same as we saw with the ship. That being said, again, I love the Sona aesthetic. I understand if it doesn't resonate with a lot of people, but if you are like me and love the aesthetic of this too, and you have the Battleship, you're gonna love having this in your collection. They look like birds of a feather. They look great side by side. I'm actually getting another case because the Battleship is currently not on display due to lack of space issues. So once I get that on, hopefully that'll be in my next collection overview, and we'll kind of get to see these ships side by side displayed. I can't wait to see that. So that definitely it does get a recommend from me as far as going in your collection. I mean, it still does look good as a ship, and especially if you're collecting alien ships or whatnot, and just want those off movie ships, this will do the job, so long as you know not to expect any major weight or color in the model. And that being said, that is going to conclude this review. If you want to check out my other Eaglemoss reviews, check out a link in the description down below. I have over 50 of them right now, and hopefully, again, definitely going to be getting more. And that being said, if you found this review fun and informative, consider tapping that like button down below. That really helps me out. Also, consider subscribing to the channel. I do Eaglemoss 2 to 3 times a week, and it's going to be getting a lot more in line because it's wintertime, baby. So this is going to be my thing for the winter. And that being said, I have been FC Finch. Thank you so much for watching. Live long and prosper.